Hello, Iron Bill, back again with another video. Today is the day that Season of the Chosen dropped, and there's a lot to unpack, and I haven't sorted through all of it, I'll tell you that, but I have played for some time this afternoon and evening, and I've made a few notes, and I thought I'd just go over a few of the first impressions. While that's going, I'll just have some background play going. This is a bit of the battleground, the Cabal Battleground activity that you will very soon get used to seeing. Now, this retreads some of the same territory that we had in the last season, obviously. This is part of the the hunts, not the nightmare hunts, but the hunts. So, this area won't seem that strange. The path here won't seem that strange. But I will say that the fight is varied and it's challenging enough for what it is. But a lot of that has to do, of course, with the level that we're currently at. So, you know what? I said this was... No, this is actually different. This is not what I thought it was. This was the first step going into... I apologize for this, because actually some of the fights do happen here. This is part of the aspect hunt, the first part. So, yeah. Anyway, first, I'll just let that play in the background, and we'll move on here. First of all, the story. I think Family Guy said it best when they said, something, something, dark side. Honestly, there's a lot of gibberish in the intro video, actually the first couple of intro videos, and it really amounts to, you're going to be fighting the Cabal again. Yeah, that's it. That's all you really need to know. You're going to be fighting the Cabal this season. Now, if you want to dive a little deeper into that, supposedly there is a Cabal named Caiatl, C-A-I-A-T-L, who is trying to reorganize the Cabal under one banner again. Zavala does not want this to happen because he says, if that does happen, it's eventually going to lead to open war with them again. So we are to interdict during these challenges, which are actually ceremonies where prospective generals would prove their worth and bring a gift to Caiatl. So we are to interrupt the ceremony and steal the chest. There it is in a nutshell. So it's a bit forced. It's bad poetry. It does not feel as smooth, or that it's actually part of the story the way many other things have been. Like, for instance, the Dreaming City. You know, that whole story was actually very, very well done. This, not so much. Now, maybe some lore person will come in and tell me I'm wrong, and I welcome being wrong. I hope I am, but yeah, I found myself not connecting with this one at all. The battlegrounds, though, they are solid. I cannot complain about them at all. Now, to the helm, or the hub, as I came to call it, it's a very small space right now, but the description says that it will be expanded as it's needed. By the way, this moves to the second part of the aspect fight, and this too is familiar, and I want to take a moment here to talk about this. It now has champions, and it's worth noting that your artifact has changed up, so you're gonna have to learn new muscle memory. See, that was an overload there, so I'm thinking, okay, I gotta get out an auto rifle and bust that down. Not necessarily so. I think this time it's a submachine gun does that, but I just went ahead and burned them down, so it didn't make any difference. All right, so you can just watch this, and you'll see what changes. It's, you know, I will say this too. When I think I was like 1263, 64, it's a 1270 activity. It was hardish, and I did wind up dying stupidly one time, but honestly, if you keep moving, if you weapon up right, and I do highly recommend Warmind Cell capability on a Nikolos submachine gun, and you probably won't have to run much else. I also had the Xenophage, I think, too. Yeah, right there it was. All right, so the hub, still sorting it out. I think it's more convenient to do your recasting there than it was last season, or the season before. It would have been season 12. Yeah, here comes a champion. I don't feel like there's so much travel time between. So I think that the area will have utility because you've got a vault, a postmaster, recaster, and the decryptor right there in very close proximity. And then you've got the monitor where you can go talk to Zavala or Crow or Osiris, whomever you have to talk to. So, yeah, it's tighter than travel normally is in social spaces. So, whether that gains any traction beyond this season, I don't know. We'll find out. It seems empty, though, I will say. I mean, you've got a few NPC robots sitting around. And Crow's vendor, by the way, is located in the roundabout tunnel right behind the recaster. If you get to wondering, he doesn't have anything yet. We'll have to see what opens up. But for now, there's nothing there. As far as everything else is concerned, I played with a couple of friends. Well, one friend chiefly, and then met somebody new, and you'll be a friend. Anyway, team play is pretty solid. I think if you come into this with at least one person, none of the content's going to provide any issue at all. But it is soloable, and I did quite a bit of stuff alone, quite a bit of stuff with somebody else. And I can't say that I had any real difficulty. Not really. It's not like Harbinger hard. Harbinger as a solo is pretty darn tough. There's just a lot going on. There are a lot of phases. There are a lot of ways to die. There are a lot of very powerful enemies, and you will get taken down. So there's nothing like that I've seen yet. Now, that doesn't mean it won't happen, and we'll see where that goes. Did not get a chance to play any of the new strikes. Did not come up in the strike playlist. We played strikes. I think in order to actually show any of that, I'm just going to have to select it off the list. And that's assuming that it's already started. It may be those strikes have not dropped yet. I don't know. I'll have to look at the roadmap and see what has rolled out. But it's quite possible that there's content that's being withheld even yet. I know there is some. I just don't know if the strikes are part of that. About to see me die that stupid death. You know, and manage these yeah, the overload is on the submachine gun. I managed these champions no problem, and look how tough the Ikelos is. I mean, it is just tough. As long as you're in ammo, man. I mean, you don't need much else. And I don't know why I went ahead and wasted ammo on that, but yeah, I did. Anything else to cover? Oh, weapons. I've not found any weapons yet that make me want to stop using weapons I already had. Not yet. Did run a few strikes, ran one Adept Nightfall, and some Crucible. And Crucible play is still stasis. You know, Fellwinter's Lie. It's still that. That hasn't changed a whole lot. Well, I mean, I had a good match or two, and had a couple of crummy matches or two, and yeah, that's the way it goes. If I'm playing with somebody else, I'll probably do it. If I'm not playing with somebody else, I probably won't. That's kind of the way I'm looking at it. Although Mayhem is this week, and there is and that's something else you got to look for. The bounties, you need to check your quests and check your weekly and seasonal bounties. You'll have 10 bounties a week that you need to do. They won't go away if you forget to do them, but you'll have 10 more the following week. And what I don't know yet, because I haven't played another character, is whether that's the same in all 3 characters or if that's account based. Now, my quick take on that would be that it shouldn't be able to be account based, because how would you be able to advance your other characters at a similar rate of speed if you only have access to those bounties on one character? Wouldn't make much sense. On the flip side of that, I could see where some of these activities could get very dull and repetitive, you know, over the course of a 3-month season. Yeah, this is where I wind up dying. It was just dumb. There's no reason for me to stand there like that. Just dumb. And I just about had it beat. I was right there at the end, you know, after all that. That's the way it goes. Yeah, so I don't know if we won't wind up in a worse place than we were at the end of this last season in terms of content drought, because if what I'm seeing now is all there's going to be, I think people will get tired of it pretty fast. I mean, it's fun right now because it's new, but how long that feels new, especially if you have to do it 3 characters a week times 10 bounties. I mean, wrap your head around that. If you wanted to, if you're a completionist and you're going to do every bit of it, you're really, that's a big ask. If you want my opinion. So I'm probably going to let it go there. There's really nothing special that you need to see from this point on. I mean, I do eventually get it. I would say the Umbrals aren't dropping that readily, but they're not as stingy as Bungie said they might be. I mean, last season they were coming so fast, I mean, I didn't know what to do with them. I mean, they just clot up the inventory after a point. Right now, not so much. And you're really not going to power level on it either because they don't come in at that high of a level. The only advantage to recasting them right now is you get to point at what you want. Something I haven't worked out yet, and I need to look this up, is what happens with that hammer that you can slot. And that hammer that I'm referring to is last season we had a lure that we had to cast, and before that you would season before that we would have to I don't know, oh yeah, in the menagerie you would have to do the cup. Well, the hammer is this season's version of that, and I had 3 charges on it, and then it said to go do something with it, but I, for the life of me, could not figure out what to do with it. Wound up decrypting 2 pretty good engrams off of it, and now I'm back down to 1 charge. So it has something to do with that. I'll let you know when I figure it out. I have not looked anything up yet. I've gone into this cold. That's been my approach. And because this content will be over soon enough, and I figure if I go into guides and get all the answers, then the thrill of discovery is gone. So I'm really trying to do this as blind as possible. Alright, so that said, that's probably enough for the evening. It's pretty late. It's already 11:30 this evening. I have work tomorrow and I got to compile this, so I want to thank you all for watching. Just my quick take on it. So far so good, but cautiously happy about what we have. I'm just afraid of what might happen if this is all the content we're going to get. Alright. You guys stay safe and warm, and I will catch you tomorrow.